Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Sharon. Happy New Year. I hope your New Year is going great. Uh, I've been sick. I had, not the flu, but a virus maybe. And I had to take a few days and get some rest and put some homemade chicken noodle soup in my body. So I'm better now. And I'm here to review The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 9, Episode 8. So stay tuned. Now, in this episode, let's start off with Cynthia going to Dr. J. Dr. J happens to be a famous plastic surgeon or cosmetic surgeon in Atlanta. And Cynthia's going, she's about to turn 50. She got her boobies done when she was 40. And she's going to have them checked out, make sure everything is okay, and just get a general feel of what's going on with them. And the weird thing about it to me is she invited all the girls. It's going to be like a party thing, I guess. Booby party. And so the girls are starting to show up. And when Candy gets there, she shares with them what she said at the dinner between her and Phaedra. Now, Cynthia wasn't even privy to any of that because she's been out trying to do her own thing. But she's telling them that whatever she felt like she wanted to say to her, she said. And she started revealing some of Phaedra's secrets. She told Phaedra, yeah, you had another man, and you were seeing another man, and you had planned on being remarried again by the end of the year. Now, I can't really see that being true because Phaedra messed up those divorce papers on purpose. I thought she's an attorney. Attorneys are taught to dot those I's and cross those T's and make sure everything is accurate. And you're trying to tell me on legal documents that Phaedra didn't know how to spell Apollo's name right? You have to read between the lines sometimes. Phaedra wasn't ready to divorce him. She was just stressed out with all the things that being married to him was bringing her. And I think she, even though she couldn't stop Apollo from going to jail, and then they started clashing, that she really wanted those papers to be delayed because Phaedra wasn't really ready to be unmarried. So this stuff that Candy is talking about, I don't know if it's true, but it's when you look at what really went down with her fudging these papers, she's an attorney. She is not a new attorney. Phaedra knows how to spell her last name. Okay? So her delaying those papers had to be for a reason. And I believe it was done on purpose if it was on her end. Now, if it was a clerical error by somebody in the clerk's office or something like that, different program. But anyway, I got off the subject. So let's get back to the subject. So she's telling the girls all these things. Dr. J comes into the office and interrupts. And Dr. J is kind of cute herself, So Dr. J comes into the office. And, Cynthia's telling him that she had her boobies done almost 10 years ago. And that she's just coming in for a checkup to see if they're okay. And, what does he think she need to have done or anything. So he said, well, okay, if we're going to examine them, you're going to have to take your top off. And so Cynthia said, do I have music to go with this? And the girls start, some of the girls like, Phaedra, show me them boobies. This town seems to be, the world is obsessed with female boobies. I know this. But what surprised me was that they were all really anxious to see these boobies. Portia said, I love your tits anyway. And I love your tits. And Phaedra was showing me them boobies. And Kenya, titties. I couldn't imagine that was going to happen, but she finally revealed them. And Cynthia seems to have, they blocked most of it out, but she seems to have a nice rack there. She paid probably good money for it. So Dr. J examined her, and everything was okay except for on one side of her boobies. It seemed it had some hardness, and she said, "Yeah, I noticed that." And he said, Do you feel it? Do you have any pain?" She said, "No." So I wouldn't. He said, "I wouldn't worry about it. Um, if you do start having problems, come back and let me look at them, and we'll see, what can be done about it." So Cynthia was very relieved to find out that everything was okay. She's starting over. So she wants everything just right. Peter and Noel. Peter and Noel met to have a exercise class together. And after the class, they went outside to talk. And Noel expressed to Peter that, you and mommy may be divorced or separated from divorcing each other, but no one asked me how I felt about it. No one cared what I thought about it. And she said, after all, you were, and this little girl is very sweet and very smart. She said, after all, you were a part of my life for 8 years. And it touched Peter. Peter, to me, it looked like he was crying. And he said, I didn't really realize. And he said, sometimes adults are selfish. Peter, you're right there. Sometimes we can't be selfish when we're dealing with our lives and not really understanding what effect, will take place with the children that we have. So they had a nice talk. Peter promised her, from now on, I'm going to be checking on you and you can call me. And why didn't you call me? And she said, you and mommy didn't leave it very comfortable for me to call you. So he told her, you can call me anytime you want, anytime you need me, anytime you want to talk. And I just thought that was so sweet. A nice, touching scene there between Noel and Peter, because you got to think about it. She lived in the same house with him. I'm sure they interacted quite well together, and Peter, for his little selfish self to really consider somebody else's feeling was shocking to me. So I'm glad that he did treat Noel, like, okay, you can call me anytime. Because like I said, I believe Cynthia is very much still in love with her husband. And if he would have fought for her, if he would have, made her feel like, I don't want this marriage to end, Cynthia would still be with her husband. You can't tell me any different. Moving on. Candy and Mama June are at a jewelry store with the baby, Ace. Riley's about to turn 14, and Candy thought it might be nice to get her something nice, some jewelry for her birthday. So in there, the lady is showing different, levels and different earrings, diamond earrings, because Candy thought that would be a nice gift for her. And Mama June over there shopping for herself. This would be nice for me. Candy said, right now we talking about Riley. Okay, we're going to leave it straight as we're shopping for Riley's birthday gift. So they did, and Candy bought her a beautiful pair of earrings, diamonds, and diamonds are a girl's best friend. They started talking about what happened between Phaedra and Candy during their dinner. And Candy said, well, she wanted to talk about you and the way you talked about what happened with the guy coming to Phaedra's office, and how you kept saying he's going to blow you the fuck up. And she said, really? She says, yes. And then we got into other things. But I let her know everything. Now, this is Candy. I let her know everything that I had on my chest that I wanted her to know. I said everything to her that I wanted to say. Now, what I'm wondering is, Candy, why was it that you was bringing up all this stuff on Phaedra when Phaedra went to talk to you about a particular thing and you jumped all off that and started going into Phaedra's past. And you said it was because Phaedra says things about your family, and you're going into Phaedra's secrets that she told you. I just don't get why the switch up. You went there, she called the meeting, and she went to talk to you. Now I know we don't like nobody talking about our mothers. Now I would have told her, like, you not finna talk about my mom. You know, you need to put it another way. But to sit up there and bring up all your secrets, and there's a camera there, and you and Phaedra were tight and you were sharing secrets, that was kind of a low blow. And what Candy doesn't realize, you're happy now. You got this beautiful family and your husband, and now little Ace with he is so cute. I can just take those little jaws and just woo all over. But you did this on camera in front of millions of people. And the girls are looking at that. The girls are looking like, can Candy really be a friend? Because, if things mess up with you and Todd, I know you have your mom and your aunties and your daughter. But what about your friends? People that you consider to be your friends. What are they going to think about you after you do this to someone you were supposed to be tight with? So, think about that, Candy. At Riley's little get-together at her house on her birthday, they're presenting her with the gifts that Candy bought her. And I guess everybody else, might have in tune, but they showed what Candy bought her. And Candy mentioned that it was over $5,000 worth of jewelry. And, Riley's thanking them, and she's holding the baby, and she's admiring her gifts. And she says, I got a call from my dad, and he wants to meet with me, see me on my, see me, and she wants her mom to go with her. And Candy said, I don't think going with you would be, good for me and him. I'm just not really comfortable with that. And Riley's like looking at her for direction, and Candy has none for it. But Mama June stepped up and said, me, Ma, I'll go with you. And Candy's like, no. Because if Mama June go, it's going to be all about money, arguing. And even if Candy's going to have to, well, anyway. So, Todd's daughter, Kayla, steps in, and they asked her, because, Todd wasn't in Kayla's life always. I think he met her when she was about 7 or 8. And they asked her opinion. And she says, with me, it was a little bit uncomfortable. And, to me, she was saying it was untraveled territory. So I think she probably would be a little more comfortable if you go with her. And Candy really doesn't want to, but she does agree to go with Riley with her. Now, the way her and Riley's dad, Block, have been arguing and talking to each other, I'm not sure that's the right route. But if they can have a conversation before they come and say, let's leave the past in the past, and this is a meeting for you and your daughter, and I want you guys to enjoy it. We won't bring anything up. You will just enjoy the meeting. That it might work out. Sometimes you just have to take a couple of steps back, and bringing up the past. You don't really have to do that. So hopefully they'll be able to do it. Phaedra, Portia, and Shamira go to a Yanni class. Now, this Yanni egg, I learned about it a few years ago. And Sheree's late, and they're learning of the Yanni ball. When they come in, they are on their knees with their butts tooted up in the air, and Sheree steps in the door. And Sheree's like, what the heck is going on here? She decides not to participate, but just watch. And they, finish the class, and I'm skeptical of sticking a whole bunch of stuff in your vaginal area. That's a very sensitive area. But anyway, after the class, they start to talk. And Portia brings up what was said at the little meeting, and she was saying that I didn't think it was fair. And Shamira surprisingly adds on, which really shocked me. She said, when I was married, Phaedra tried to flirt with my husband. Shamira demonstrated that how she tried to move in and put her butt all on the guy. And at another time they saw her, she asked him, "You married her? I'm surprised that you married her." So I guess Phaedra might have had, at least this is Shamira's point of view, that Phaedra might have had a crush on her ex-husband. So Portia seems surprised that Shamira brought that up. That's adding to the fire, and she knows it's gonna come up again. She can kind of feel it. And Portia seems to be very loyal and very effective about all these things that's being said by the Candy about Phaedra, and I am too. Why are you making it your life's business or whatever to say all these negative things about Phaedra right now? That used to be your girl, and you're telling her secrets. So that was really surprising to me. So Sheree, Candy, and Portia have lunch together. Candy was the last one to arrive. Sheree and Portia was there already. And Candy kind of felt something was wrong because after they made their greetings, everybody got quiet. And they started talking about how she might have crossed the line when she was spilling all of Phaedra's secrets. And Candy, that just made her mad. She said, "I never hear you tell her that she's crossing the line when she's talking about my family." And girl, Candy unleashed. She said that she's tired of Phaedra talking about her family. She talked about her husband, and she's talking about her mom, and she wanted to let her know, that's not cool with me. So that turned out to be really not a good lunch. I think Candy got up and left on that one too. That's the second meal she's walked out on. So Sheree, Portia, and Phaedra decided to have lunch together. They began to tell her all the funny things that went on in the Yanni class. And then they hit her with what they really brought her there for. They started to tell her the things that Candy was going around telling people that happened between herself, Candy, and Phaedra at their dinner meeting. And Phaedra was told that she had been seeing a man before Apollo went to jail, and that she had planned to marry by the end of the year. And even that Shamira felt like she used to flirt with her ex-husband. Well, Faye played it cool and close to the chest. She said, "Girl, you can't believe nothing Shamira says, because Shamira is sleeping with or fucking Candy. She has been. And not only that, but Candy has welcomed Shamira to her bed with Todd." Well, that I did not expect to see. I guess Phaedra said, "Candy's not the only one can drop a little tea. I'm going to drop some too." So, yeah. So that's it, you guys. I hope you liked it. Please comment. Let me know what you think about it. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.